Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ete with Eco Lawn Science, another episode. And this is our first episode where we're capturing the video as well as the podcast. So I'm here, in Archie's Underground Studio in Heber. And for those of you who are checking out on YouTube, you can actually see us now. So that's kind of cool. So today I'm here with a local tree doctor, our arborist, Tim Morris from Park City Tree. Tim, you want to say hi?
Hello.
There you go. That's his hi. I've asked Tim to come on today just for a few minutes. As you know, we talk a lot about lawns, we talk about pest control, anything with your landscape for the homeowners or for other companies out there that are just trying to figure out what they're doing. And so I've asked him to come in today and talk a little bit about tree care, about plant health care. He has a company locally, and it's been successful and really busy, so I appreciate him taking the time. And so what I wanted to do today is I wanted to ask Tim if he would share a couple tips with us. It's June. I don't even know the date, June 23rd, something around there, 2020. Mm-hmm. We had a hot April, dry April, not hot, and May, and we're starting to get some moisture beginning of June. What are you seeing out there right now in the tree world, and what do you recommend? What are some tips that you have for people for right now that they could be looking for?
One of the things I'm seeing right now, we had 2 hard freezes, right?
Okay, yeah.
That were late. The trees had already leafed out, right?
Yeah.
So some of the trees that leafed out that were still fragile, you'll see those leaves will be damaged and they will not come back. Okay. They'll start turning color. So when you see that, it's not a fungus, it's not a disease this early, it is from that hard freeze.
And is that on all the trees or just a specific type?
No, it'll be on all of them. You'll see, depending on where they were at the budding out process, some of them it doesn't affect at all. Some of them you see the damage. Spruce trees, the tips will dry out and kind of curve a little bit.
Okay.
And I've seen, several of those. Aspen trees, the leaves will have little black spots all over them, which looks like black tar spot or Marcelina blight, but it's not because it's too early for that to have shown up. But as far as tree care, right now, we're getting to the point where the last 2 weeks of June are the least amount of moisture we get through the entire year.
Okay.
So we make sure we want you to make sure that you are watering your trees the way they're supposed to be watered.
Okay.
So let's say you have a 12-foot spruce tree.
Okay.
My recommendation on that would be that it gets 10 gallons of water a week.
Okay. Wow.
And you would want to get that over 3 days.
Gotcha. So break it up into 3 days.
They don't
10
like
gallons.
to be watered every day. They
Okay.
would much rather be watered, twice a week in climates like New Jersey, or Florida, or 3 times a week here. It's so dry and arid that I recommend doing it 3 times a week. So if you were to set your dribblers to where they're getting a little over 3 gallons each time you water, then that would be perfect for them. But other than that, making sure they don't have bugs on them this time of year, because you start getting aphids.
Okay.
And the aphids suck the nutrients out of the leaves. Those leaves provide food for the tree, as well as oxygen for the rest of us. But they provide food for the tree. So if the aphids are sucking those nutrients out, they can't provide food for the tree. The tree declines.
Gotcha.
Because it needs that food to survive the winter and be ready for next spring. So.
Okay, so about 10 gallons a week. Now that was, you were saying like a 12-footish aspen?
12-foot spruce.
Oh, spruce, I'm sorry.
And aspen would be fine with that much water as well.
Okay. And then what about, you did say from the freeze you may see black little spots on the leaves. Is that hard to tell the difference between those the freeze damage versus what you're saying, potential aphids or scale?
The aphids won't leave spots on the leaves. Black tar leaf spot or Marcelina blight or anthracnose will leave spots on the leaves that kind of mimic that in the beginning, but over time you'll be able to tell the difference whether it's a fungus or that.
Okay.
But a novice is not going to be able to tell.
Gotcha.
But if you see it now, I can pretty much guarantee you it's from the hard freeze.
Okay. Because it's a little too early to be seeing the aphids.
Right.
Okay.
And so scale is another insect that we have a problem with here on your aspens, and then on spruce trees, it looks like little white dots all over your needles. So those are insects that will damage the tree and decline it until they kill it. If not, taken care of.
What's one of the biggest misconceptions or myths out there that that you're hearing people say, like, oh, you got to do this with your trees, or this? Is it something you can myth bust for us a little bit in this area?
I think the biggest myth is whenever people go, this tree's been in the ground for 5 years now. It should have a taproot that goes down and has found a water source. Well, most roots on most trees get about 24 inches below the soil. There is no taproot. Now, there are some trees that live in the desert that will have a taproot that goes way down, but we don't have any of those here.
Gotcha.
So there is no magic taproot that goes down and finds an aquifer and
and brings it back up.
Right, exactly. So
awesome. All right, cool. Any other tips that you would have for our listeners or viewers this time?
Most important would be to make sure that you have mulch around your trees. A very thin layer of mulch, but mulch just to keep that moisture in the soil. Water is precious here.
Yeah, it is.
And in most places it's expensive. So if you do that, you'll cut down on the amount of water you'll actually have to use to keep the trees.
And on that, you said a thin layer. If you put too much mulch, could we suffocate it?
Right.
Okay, so
no tree volcanoes. You see those mulch tree volcanoes?
I see that everywhere.
Yeah.
I see that. That's how people do. I thought,
Yeah, that will suffocate your tree and kill it.
Okay, so just a thin couple-inch layer.
Yeah, no more than 2 inches of soil, and really no more than 2 inches of a mulch.
Okay, awesome. Well, that's perfect, man. Those are some great tips on mulching, on watering, looking out for the hard freeze, and man, I think we gave some good info there. So awesome. Tim, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you guys. Well, I shouldn't wrap that up. I should let you say something.
Well, we all love trees, and if you need Park City Tree, we're happy to come and assess your trees and tell you what's wrong with them and help you out and get them healthy.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Tim, for coming by, and we'll see you on the next episode of Eco Lawn Science.
Thanks for having me.